What is going on YouTube? Got another cool one for you today. We are doing a head shave. So jumping right into it, you guys see I'm putting some shaving cream all over his head. When you're doing this, you definitely want to, try and rub the shaving product in their hair like you're trying to force it in their skin. You want the hair, each individual strand, to soak up as much water and product as it can, like a sponge. You want it to be completely saturated, but you don't want the head to be dripping wet. I'm going to make another video on how to make your own quality shaving product on your own, so you don't need to buy them. Getting right into it, you guys want to keep your fingers behind the moving blade. Obviously, you don't want to put your fingers in front of the blade. Some people need to be reminded though, so you want to go, I like to start on the top of the head and work my way back when doing the shaves. Most people, when they get their head shaves, they're bald, or going bald, thinning on top. It's a lot easier to just kind of bang out the really light areas where there's not a lot of hair. Then you can take your time on the sides where they still do have a good amount of hair density. When you're doing these, you want to make sure you stretch the skin out nice and good, and you want to keep an eye out for like moles, scabs, pimples, things like that. You can scrape over them pretty easy and cut them. And moles are ridiculous. If you cut a mole, it bleeds for like ever, and like there's no powder to stop it. I don't know what it is with moles, they just like to bleed. So definitely be careful of the moles, careful of skin tags, everything like that. When I do my head shaves, I do not go twice over. I only go once over, and I go with the grain. Going against the grain, you're going to have a really good chance of irritating your client's skin, and you're giving the prime conditions for ingrown hairs. Ingrown hair, when you shave against the grain, literally ingrown hairs, you're shaving so tight to the skin that you shave the hair below the surface of the skin, and your skin will grow faster than your hair will grow back out of its pore, and then it'll grow on the inside and can get infected. And if you've never had an ingrown hair, that's great. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. They suck. So finishing up the sides, you can see really stretching the skin. You want to make sure the skin is as tight as can be, because if it's not tight, you'll feel the skin give a little bit and the blade kind of hop or skip, and you have a good risk of cutting somebody when the blade hops or skips. If you guys are worried how fast I'm going in this video, keep in mind I do speed the video up a little bit, so I don't actually go so quickly when I'm doing these head shaves. Sometimes if you're doing the head shave for a good amount of time, you should put more product when you get to the other side if it's taking you that long, just to make sure that he's still nice, still saturated in his hair. You're not going to scratch his skin up or irritate him from shaving him with no product on his skin, or very little. So we're all done. We're going to put a little bit more of the shaving product. It kind of helps soothe and cool the skin after shaving it. You got all this fresh exposed skin that's not used to the elements like the sun, the weather, all that stuff. So it's more sensitive off the bat for sure. Putting the stuff on, it's a combination of shaving cream, aftershave, and beard butter. It's just really good for kind of finishing up the process. We're going to use a hot towel. That's going to help steam his pores. It's going to bring any bacteria or any crud that's stuck in there to the surface, and kind of relax his skin as much as it can get. Use that hot towel. It's definitely really nice too after you shave somebody's head with a hot towel. Feels really good. After the hot towel, we're going to use a cold towel. This is an important part. This really reduces any irritation or heat or anything like that, and it closes the pores. You want to close the pores because if you leave them open, you're kind of inviting pimples and infections, ingrown hairs, and stuff like that. So even if after you do a regular shave, I always tell my clients to splash some cold water on their face to close their pores. After you do the cold towel, you want to make sure you use a blow dryer to blow dry the head so it's not sticky or clammy or anything like that, because we are going to make a quick powder towel and do a little bit of talcum powder all over the head. You want to pat, you don't want to rub. You'll see me slide the towel on his head. I do that very, very slightly with the grain. Going against the grain will be very irritating and scratchy feeling. The talcum powder gives it a nice smooth finish, and that's pretty much it. There's a head shave, guys. Thanks for watching.